Adonai. Come, let us sing joyously to God and raise a shout for our rock and deliverer, page 130. Page 131, 4 lines before the bottom. Ya'alol Sadai. Then shall all the trees of the forest shout for the joy as the presence of the Eternal One, for God is coming. Ya'alol Sadai. Ya'alol Sadai. Bechol Shebo Ya'alol Sadai. Ay, 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 Ya'alol Sadai. Bechol Shebo Ya'alol Sadai. Ay, 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 ay. As you're running new, gonna say, as you're running new, gonna say, 132, 4 lines from the bottom. Orzaru ala tzadik u'le'yishrei lev simcha. Light is sown for the righteous, radiance for the upright. Page 137. Adonai Ozla Moyiten Adonai Yivarech et Amo Shalom. May God grant strength to our people and give us the most important gift of all. May God grant us the gift of peace.
Adonai Oz le'amo yiten Adonai yivarech et amo. Adonai Oz le'amo yiten Adonai yivarech et amo.
Bezimrat Yah vayehili lishua. I think it's on page 646, if I remember correctly. God is my strength and God is my redeemer. Ozi v'zimrat Yah vayehili lishua. Bottom of 647.
Ozi v'zimrat Yah vayehili lishua. 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 Ozi v'zimrat Yah
Page 138, the words of Lecha Dodi, and we welcome the Sabbath bride. We welcome this joining of the Shekhinah with Malchut, of the different aspects of God, as we come together and bring together Shabbat. And we prepare the white tablecloth and the white clothing for some of us, as if we too are the bride and groom coming together and celebrating Shabbat. Lecha Dodi, page 138.
לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת לקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת לקבלה. שמעו וזכו ותתנו אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם תתרן ונתירה. לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת לקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת לקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ויחד, כי מקור הברירה, מראש מקדם משוכה, סוף מעשה במה שכן תחילה. לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת לקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת לקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באוהב אורי אורי, אורי אורי, שיר דברי, ככל המעלה יפיקה. לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת לקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת לקבלה.
Verse 8.
דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת מקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת מקבלה בואי ושלום עצרת ברא גם בשמחה וסהורה תוך אמונה עם סגולה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת מקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת מקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת מקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת מקבלה.
Could you read in the English here?
All these candles give light to all who behold them. So may we, be our lives, give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of generations of Israel who have kindled light. So may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Could each of you light a set of candles? But before you do, I'm going to light this memorial candle of recognition of all those unable to join us this evening. We remember them. We keep them dear in our hearts.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehitatef l'liknei shel Shabbat.
Shabbat. Amen. We'll do Lehitatef tomorrow morning as your bar mitzvahs together. And we say Mazel Tov. And if you have anyone nearby whose name you do not know, turn and greet them, make them welcome, just as we're making these two boys welcome for their bar mitzvah tomorrow morning. Shabbat Shalom. Mazel Tov, boys.
Yes, the banners of Sydney. It's in C, right? You know, it's in C, right? It's in C, right? Yeah, it is. Check it. Okay. What do you ban at the beginning?
Can you use that organ sound again?
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך היום, ולזמר לשמך היום.
Page 140.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך היום, ולזמר לשמך היום. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, עלה יסוד עלינה, וללב היגיון וחיוך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך ארנן. So moving on to page 142, Shalom Aleichem, we're welcoming the angels. The angels are there, they have one role. Literally every angel has one role. So we have to be careful in terms of who we invite into our homes. So I'm asking you as we sing this, what is the angel that you need to enter your home this Shabbat? 142.
Yai, 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 nai, nai. Yai, yai, nai, yai, nai, nai, nai. Yai, nai, yai, nai, 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 nai. Yai, nai, yai, nai, nai. Yai, nai, 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 nai. Yai, nai, 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 nai. Yai.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We rise for the Chatzi Kaddish on page 144. Yitkadash v'yitkadash meraba.
Amen.
Yehamat tivrahirote v'yamlich machute v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayidecho beit Yisrael.
Bagala, bagala, ובזמן קריב.
ואמרו
אמן. יהי שמי רבן מבורך, לעולם ולעולם מעלמיה יתברך.
יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי קודשה
בריחו
וגם לנקור בחטא ושירתה
צוש בחטא ונחמתה תמירן בעלמה.
ואמרו אמן. We read together on page 148 in Hebrew. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim b'chokhma potech sha'arim uvitvuna mishane itim umachalif et hazmanim umisader et hakochavim b'mishmerotehem barakir kirtzono borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה. אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבים. אהבת עולם, בית ישראל,
בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בעם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל, ואמרת עליהם, ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם, ונתנו הציצית הכנף בתיר תכלת, והיה לכם לציצית וריתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו אחרי לבכם ואחרי עיניכם אשר אתם זונים אחריכם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים אלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
On the top of page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך אהוב בניך בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים. זה לי ענו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גר ישראל.
On page 160, where the Hashkivenu is a prayer about asking for shelter and solitude. I don't know if you know that the Netzer Shlicha in Israel, Hadar, just had a child, and just over the weekend, and she named her child Tomer, and Tomer is a date tree. And one of the things I said was a date tree is known for making sweet dates. You know, honey, when they talk about the land of milk and honey, they were talking about date honey. So it's sweetness, but also the date trees have big branches, and so it also provides us a sense of shelter. And at this time, we can all use a taste of sweetness and a sense of shelter and safety. Page 160.
השכיבנו, אדוני אלוהינו, לשלום ועמידנו, מלכנו לחיים, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ותקננו בעצה טובה מלפניך, והושיענו למען שמך, והושיענו למען שמך, והגן בעדנו והסר מעלינו אויב, ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם ועד עולם.
ברוך אתה אדוני הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. Blessed are you, eternal one, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Page 162. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat. This is our covenant for all time.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. לדורותם ברית עולם.
On the bottom of page 165, in an envelope marked personal, God addressed me a letter. In an envelope marked personal, I have given my answer. Please rise for the Amidah on page 164.
שפתי תפתח, ופי יגיד תהילתך. אדוני, שפתי תפתח, ופי יגיד תהילתך. יגיד תהילתך. ופי יגיד תהילתך. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, עליון, גומר חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב והושיע. משיב רוח ומוריד הגשם, מזריח השמש ומוריד הטל. מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו ישנה עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידות מלך, מלך ומלך ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We continue silently through the end of page 180, and then you may be seated or use the words in your own heart.
רצונים רעפי, והגיון ליבי לפניך. Adonai tzuri v'goali, may the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל,
So, this Shabbat is designated Climate Shabbat. I had absolutely no idea why. I got an email saying, this is Climate Shabbat. Jewish congregations around the entire country are using this and talking about the climate.
Because it's Melbourne and you get every season in a single day.
So I read through the Parsha, and I read through the Parsha again, and I read through it again, and I'm like, why this Parsha? I could not for the life of me figure out. There's lots of other Parshiot I would have designated as Climate Shabbat, but why this Parsha? Lucky for me, they provided me with the answer to my question that I am going to share with you because it's fascinating. And then I want to ask you what you think about it. So, in a Midrash, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai tells the story of a man in a boat who began to drill a hole under his seat, as you do. His fellow passengers began to protest. "What are you doing?" He responds, "What concern of it is yours? I'm making a hole under my seat, not yours." They replied, "Well, that may be so, but when the water comes in, it will sink the whole boat and we will all drown." Duh. So this tale illuminates the Jewish view of the connection between all of our lives, how every single individual action, everything we do, affects everyone else. Hence, Climate Shabbat. Our community shares, they say, the collective responsibility to do what we can to reduce dangerous emissions and to restore the balance of our planet for ourselves and for future generations. Our tradition tells us that the natural world is a precious inheritance, lovda ul'shomra, to cultivate and to protect. Thousands of Jews in Australia, Israel, and across the world are already playing exciting roles to help solve the climate change challenge. They work in renewable energy, environmental law, critical minerals, policies and advocacy, climate science, and much more. They are regular people, like us, advocating within their companies and organizations for change. But in the words of the chief rabbi of the Commonwealth, Rabbi Ephraim Mervis, he said, "We must all rally together in order to continue what we are doing and do even more." This Shabbat, let us translate our intent into action and words into deeds. Let our Jewish values, ethical compass, creativity, and resilience inspire others to join us in this most urgent and sacred task. We affirm today, the change starts with us. That's powerful, right? I love that. This was great words, fantastic. The change starts with us. What does that have to do with the Parsha? Could not understand. But guess what? They provided me with another page to make sense of what it is. Just out of curiosity, any of you who've actually read the Parsha, can you make it, that didn't read their notes, can you make a connection between this week's Parsha, Vayera, and climate change? So for those of you that aren't know, quick recap, Vayera talks about the three visitors, which we find out later are angels, that come to Abraham and they tell Abraham and Sarah that they're going to have a child, and Sarah laughed, hence the child is known Yitzchak, meaning laughter, and they give them food, they welcome the stranger, it's all very exciting. The next scene in the Torah is in Sodom, when the two angels then go and visit Lot, Abraham's nephew, and they say, "Hey, can we have a place to stay?" And they say, "Sure, come in," very hospitable. They come in, the angels stay. Then the crazy people of Sodom come knock on the door and they say, "Give us your daughter." And he says, "No, I won't give you my daughter. They say, "Give us the visitors, the men, give us the guests, the men." He says, "No, I won't give you our visitors, but I'll give you my daughter instead." Such a compassionate father he was. Anyway, and
Don't tempt me.
Yeah. So anyway, then they narrowly escape the crazy mob of Sodom and Gomorrah. They run away. Just don't look back. What do you do when someone says don't look back? They look back. Lot's wife turns into salt. My particular favorite thing is that people say you can go and see the pillar of salt that Lot's wife turned into, and then people lick it. Like, how gross is that? Just saying. I'm like, is that connected to climate change? Salt, water? They didn't put that on here. And so that's that. And then the last part of the Parsha is the one we read, the Akedah, the binding of Isaac. And it talks about God telling Abraham he has to sacrifice his son Isaac. And so early in the morning he rises, he takes, "Son, come with me, trust you, I'm your dad." You gotta love Lot and Abraham. Take my daughter. Trust me, I'm your dad. Got a little daddy issues here, just saying. And so they go up to the mountain, then eventually Isaac says, "Hey, Pops, I see that there's the fire and the wood for the burnt offering, but where's the sacrifice?" Can you imagine what Abraham says at that moment? And so he says nothing. And, go trust me. So we get up to the top of the mountain. He's sitting there. He binds up his child. His child's like, "Sure, Dad, bind me up," and like any person would. And he's sitting there, and he's like, "Am I going to do it? Am I going to do it? Come on, God, do something, save me." And then out of the woods comes the ram. Hence, we blow the shofar on Shabbat. Ta-da! He's saved. That poor ram is not so much saved. And then they go down the mountain separately, and they never speak again. By the way, God never speaks to Abraham again, and Sarah dies in the next Parsha. But that's for next week's Drush. Okay. Anyone? What does that have to do with the climate? Yeah.
I don't think this is it, but just a thought. I think we've been invited to make a significant sacrifice without really knowing what that could bring us. It's a bit out of faith.
Ooh, nice.
The current world is invited to make a sacrifice for a better world, and some people accept that they will undertake that sacrifice, and some people won't. They have no
That's
faith that it's going to be better.
brilliant. I love that. That's brilliant. For those of you online, that wasn't in here, but I'm going to write it to them and tell them they should include that next year. So that the sacrifice that, when what the things we're asked to do to help protect the environment, to save the climate, we're doing this now for the sake of a better world in the future, which takes faith, because we may or may not see it in our lifetime, but that is a leap of faith, and we have to trust that it's for the greater good. That's absolutely brilliant. Any other thoughts? Yeah.
I was thinking of a particular scene. The only one that comes to mind is, of course, Sodom. And the fact that the people acted together. If they had acted together for good, they would have saved their city.
Oh.
But they acted together for evil, of Hamas, for violence, and so they destroyed the city.
Brilliant, Rabbi. There we go. Another you can add to their list for next year, too. So, Sodom and Gomorrah, the people acted together for wickedness and badness, and you say Hamas, and we spoke about the word Hamas isn't, ironically, the terrorist organization, but Hamas means, the great evil, destruction, right, and devastation. And so that's what it means in Hebrew. And so they worked together for bad, but they could have worked together collectively for good. Amazing. What's that? In the story of Jonah. Absolutely. Well, they all changed their ways together. Yeah, absolutely. Anyone else? Any other thoughts? Going once, going twice? Sold to our two winners over here. So one of the things that they gave three different ideas that I'm just going to share with you very briefly. One is from Sodom and Gomorrah, but a different take on it, right? So they quoted the verse that says, since the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah has become great, and since their sin has become grave, I will descend now and see whether according to her cry, which has come to me, what they have done. And I will wreak destruction upon them, and if not, I will know. It's a very weird kind of verse, and it makes no sense, actually, as I read that out loud. But the cries of the people, this is so bad, but they're not doing about it. So they say that the sin of Sodom and Gomorrah can be as a powerful metaphor for the consequences of unchecked decay, of not paying attention, of focusing only on our needs and only on our comforts without recognizing the impact of our actions on others around us and others in the future. And Abraham pleads and negotiates, saying, hey, let's save the good with the bad. What about those of us who are doing the right thing? I come from America. I like my dryer. I do not like stiff clothing on my body, and if you hang it out to dry in the sun too long, it's like painful on your skin. But I come to America, do as the locals. But in Sydney, they hang their stuff up to dry more often than in Melbourne, because if you hang it to dry, as you say, the climate will change and it will rain on your clothes. But, but are we willing to sacrifice a little bit of our comfort? Showers, right? I got, a lot of hair, and less now though, but a lot of hair, and it's, it's thick. It takes a long time to get the stuff out. How do I take a shorter shower? My kids who always leave the light on when they leave, what are the consequences for them to remind them to turn off the lights? What are the little things that we're doing? And then I hear, well, what difference is it going to make? I'm doing this, what difference is it going to make? Probably none with that attitude is usually my attitude, but in my response. But if all of us do it and all of us encourage others to do it, it will help. But more importantly than that, the cry of the people. How do we make our voices heard, right? I know that we in the ARC, in the Assembly of Rabbis and Cantors, we've just had of Australia, Asia, and New Zealand, we've just had a meeting, and we've had a big thing as to what bank we should use. How do we figure out what bank we should use? So we look at ethical banking. We learned from Netzer, by the way, who did all of our research for us. What can we do to be able to use a bank that invests their funds in companies that are actually going to help use sustainable energy, that invest in sustainable energy? How can we do that? How can we, right now the government is paying for solar heating. So yes, it's making it more beneficial for makes it beneficial for us. We don't have to pay as much, and it's beneficial for the environment, so we don't have to use our heat and our electricity. So what cries can we do collectively to make a bigger impact and a bigger change, in addition to what we're doing, in addition to our recycling and so forth? How do we do that? Cars, right? Nowadays, we're having more and more electric cars, or hybrid cars. I don't know, if we need a new car, why not try investing for that? Unless you're like me, that everything you touch, like when it comes to electronics, doesn't work. I said this will not go well with me, but maybe a hybrid I could do. But what can we do to make a difference together? The other thing I want to say, and I won't go through all of them because I know it's late and I've already asked you, is when it talks about Ishmael and Hagar, I forgot to talk about that part of it, right? So before Sarah had a child, she couldn't have a child, and so she said, here, have a child with my servant, because that's what you do. Because your servant was her servant was her property, and so the child of her servant would be as if it was her servant. Then she got upset. She had her own child, and the servant was saying, well, I'm a better woman than you are because I can produce, because that was how a woman showed their worth in those days. And so she kicked her out. She said, get rid of her. Told Abraham, get rid of her and her son. We don't need them anymore. Nice matriarch on our part. We have I can psychoanalyze this for you guys next year. But right now, they sent them out, and they were sitting by the well, and Hagar was crying. And she said, I need something. And so the quote says, she's sitting there, she placed the child on her shoulder, and she said, the water was depleted, and the child was going to die. She was going to die. She went and said, let me not see the child's death, she says. God opened her eyes, and she saw the well of water, and she went and filled the pouch with the water and gave the boy water to drink. Water scarcity. Water scarcity is a real thing, not for the future, but now. One of the issues that we have with climate change is not just that it's the global warming and it's getting hotter and the waters are rising because the ice stuff is melting and there's more floods. I couldn't understand that. I don't get it. Temperatures are rising, but yet there's more floods and more things. Then someone explained it to me. Because the temperatures are rising, the ice is literally melting and raising things. Now, people in Florida have money, and so they can move their houses and they can put stuff on stilts. People in lower income third world countries do not have that opportunity. So there's a thing called climate migration. It's a real thing. People are moving and they're climate refugees because their countries don't have the infrastructure to look after them, not in the future, but literally now, because there's not enough clean water. And if any of you have ever been camping when there's a rainstorm and you're trying to get water, well, if there's a rainstorm, it puts all of the dirt in the water and it's hard to get clean water. So third world countries don't have as much capacity to be able to clean the water. So climate change is a reality now in our world, maybe not in our first worlds, but certainly in the third world. And it is creating a migration problem and a refugee problem. And also, when you don't have a place to live and your food is being tainted, it increases the amount of violence, the amount of hunger, the amount of theft, the amount of abuse. All of those things are all related to not having a safe world and planet on which to live. So let the cries of Sodom and Gomorrah be for good. Let us come together and figure out what can we do collectively to make a change in this world now for all people in this world, and also in the future for future generations. We rise for the Aleinu on page 586, 586.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלק משחרים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני ומלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
We remain standing for a moment as we turn to page 598 and we think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. This Shabbat we remember in the period of Shloshim, Shiral Golan, Greta Goldblatt, Eva Karas, Gottlieb Maris, Ruben Mao, Maria Simanova. And the yahrzeits which fall this week: Norman Cohen, Ian Dorey, Hedwig Eisfelder, Leo Hartman, Chloe Howard, Edith Conn, Maria Lewitt, Violet Lowenstein, Andrew Moore, Jackie Phillips, Pauline Pogorelski, Barry Ruben Ben Samuel, Bernard Schulkes, Mary Starr, Bernard Sylvan, Maria Wallen, and Jean Zemmel. If there are other names you'd like to add, please call them out as I look around the room. We recognize also all those dying so unnecessarily in conflicts, whether in Israel, in the Middle East, in Ukraine, or elsewhere around the world. Zichronam livracha. May their memories be for a blessing as we turn to page 598 and join together in the words of Kaddish Yatom. Yitgadal ve'yitgadash shemei rabba.
Amen.
Ba'alma divra chirutei ve'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon u'vyomechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'vizman kariv ve'imru amen. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא. ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי קודשה ברכו. לעילה מנכ"ל ברכתה ושירתה. תושבחתה ונחמתה. תאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה. וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו. הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all of Israel, and to all of humanity. And we say,
Amen.
Amen. And so, I don't know if you have any announcements to share.
You do have some announcements.
Please be
Mitzvah Day.
seated as we have a few announcements. Who's giving the announcements?
She just
Haley
left.
has just left. Would you like to give a few announcements?
Well, I would love for you to talk about the King's Carnival and Mitzvah Day, which is coming up. But first of all, this Sunday at 10:30 is at 10 o'clock. At 10 o'clock is our AGM, so please come and be there. And Mitzvah Day?
Mitzvah Day is on the 24th. So on the 24th, there's both King's Carnival at King David School in Orong Road and Mitzvah Day here at TBI. So we begin at 9 a.m. with breakfast and a ceremony, followed by a whole day of doing various mitzvot, whether you want to sing in the choirs in the nursing homes or pack bags for women's shelters or create cards for soldiers in Israel, or one of the many other things that we're doing. We're collecting clothes. Yes, we're making donuts at King David School. So there's many activities that are happening on the 24th if you want to join us with us for either Mitzvah Day or for the King's Carnival.
That'd be fantastic. And the last thing I promised them, I would do a plug. Coming up at the 24th. The 24th is going to be Shlomi Shaban, thank you. I can never say the name. Shlomi Shaban is a very well-known Israeli musician who's going to be here. There's still seats left available. I was sick and in hospital, which is the only reason why I missed the last one, but I'm definitely going to be here next time. It's an amazing, this whole space transforms. We're partnering with Zionism Victoria. So please, if you haven't booked tickets, go online. It's on our website. Go to Zionism Victoria, book tickets. It will be absolutely, it's going to be huge, huge amounts of fun. So come and listen, and we want to support in every way possible. And also, TBI TV is coming to you. You thought you liked Netflix or Jewflix or Highflix? Well, TBI TV is coming to you. Pay attention. We're joining with Emmanuel Plus in Sydney, and they have an unbelievable range. If you are a member, you get automatic access. If you are not a member, you should figure out how to get involved, because I can't tell you. But they have all these different things like conversations with Israel, they have concerts, they have movies, they have TV shows. It literally is, it's like Netflix. I just got a tour of it, how to do it, use it today. It's super cool, and they're gonna put us on it. We will create more content than just services, but for right now, that's what it is. But there's lectures, it's amazing. So it's coming, and it's gonna go live on soon, in like 2 weeks, I think. So stay tuned, because I've told them I will give you announcements every single Shabbat about it. But you can't miss it. You are going back there, which means the rest of us are going to go back there. Those of you online, thank you for joining us. You can still hear us. Shabbat Shalom. We're going to go back to Motzi and Kiddush over there. And nice to see everybody.
And you will
Shabbat Shalom.
You will find that the red is wine, the white is grape juice, and what's in front of me is neither wine nor grape juice, but the fruit of the grain, as we join together and say, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, porei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'b'ratzon hinchilanu, zikaron למעשה וראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקרא קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים, כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת לחיים. And then the motzi, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, המוציא לחם מן הארץ. Amen. Shabbat Shalom and B'teavon.
Shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom, hey, Shabbat, Shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom, hey, Shabbat, Shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shalom.